Hey guys, what's going on? I'm gonna go on ahead and start this off with a discretion. This video is not going to be a very light-hearted video. This video is going to involve very explicit situation and details. So with that, I really urge viewer discretion for all of you who are watching. If blood, death, and very vulgar and explicit situations and details bother you, I do urge you to go on ahead and click off this video. I completely understand. So with that being said, this video I've tried about like 2 or 3 times trying to record this video, and with every video attempt, something has happened and I have not been able to finish it or post it. So with that, I'm just gonna do it this way. I was really hoping to be able to show a picture of the 3 people that I'll be talking about, but I'm just gonna go on ahead and say screw it and do it this way. So today's video is going to be about a friend of mine, her mother, and her sister, and something that happened 3 years ago. Now, the reason for this is because my best friend's mother is going through a very, very hard time right now. So with that, I was hoping that this video would help calm her nerves and let her know that she did everything right and everything she was supposed to for the betterment of her family. And I also want to use this video as an awareness video. So with that, I'm going to go on ahead and get started with this video and the topic that I'm going to be speaking over. So we're going to rewind 3 years to December 5th, 2016. At 3 a.m. December 5th of 2016, my best friend, Macy, woke up and was having difficulty breathing. She was having an asthma attack. So her first step after realizing what was going on, she went and woke up her mom and told her she was having difficulty breathing. So her mom handed her her inhaler, and Macy did what she needed to, and it wasn't working. So she turned to her mom and said, "Mom, it's actually getting harder to breathe." Her mom, Laura, went to start a breathing treatment for her. And when that wasn't working, or I'm sorry, when she was starting the breathing, when Laura went to start the breathing treatment up for Macy, Macy collapsed to the floor. Completely lost consciousness and everything. So Laura quickly grabbed her phone, dialed 911, ran to Macy, and started CPR. 911 answered. She gave 911 everything that they needed, address, the nature of the call, all that good stuff. Well, 911 wrote it all down, continued to talk Laura through CPR. And for some reason, something told Laura to step outside. I have my thoughts of what it could have been, as I'm sure some people as well. Some of y'all probably have an idea of what it could have been. But fact of the matter is, something told her to step outside. So she stepped outside, and here comes this sheriff unit driving by. So she flagged down the sheriff unit. The sheriff deputy got out, and Laura gave a quick rundown of what was going on. So the sheriff deputy went inside with Laura and took over CPR. Soon after that, tones dropped for the fire department and the ambulance responders, and my dad happened to be one of the firefighters that responded. My dad woke up, and what he normally does for a call, because there it's all volunteers, what he normally does for a call is he puts the address in his GPS, so that way when he gets to the ambulance, he can hop in and drive and not be like, where the hell am I going? So he went, put it all in, and when he realized where the call was, he called my cousin, who was driving the ambulance with my dad that night, and told him, hey, I'm going straight to the house, to the address, I'll meet you there. Well, everybody showed up. My dad goes in and he takes over CPR, and he would not let anybody else take over CPR no matter what. The reason for that is because, like I said, this was my best friend. Our two families were really, really close. We confided in each other for everything, and my dad saw Macy as another daughter. And he also knew that one day she was going to be his daughter-in-law. Like, me and Macy loved each other. We were just too afraid and stubborn to tell each other how we felt about each other. Anyways, so they got her stable. They were supposed to meet a helicopter ambulance somewhere between where the call was and Lubbock, Texas. The helicopter was coming from New Mexico, though. Well, when they found out that it was coming from New Mexico, en route, they decided to stop in Littlefield, Texas at the hospital. So when they decided that, they tried contacting Laura, and for some reason they couldn't get a hold of her. So my dad called my mom and told my mom to call Laura and tell her to stop at the hospital in Littlefield, Texas. Well, my mom was like, what in the hell is going on? Like, what do you mean? And he was like, I can't say, I don't have time, just do that now. And he hung up. Well, my mom called Laura, told her what was going on, and Laura was she was at such a loss that all she could say was, what happened to the helicopter? My baby girl, this is important, like, what the hell? And past that, she was so emotional that she couldn't make a clear sentence. Well, after all that, my mom said, I'll meet you there in Littlefield, and hung up the phone. My mom then proceeded to come and wake me up, which they never do. My dad has responded on multiple calls, and they've never came to wake us up. But for some reason, she came and woke me up. She doesn't even know why she woke me up. But she woke me up. We went into their bedroom, and she told me that Macy was en route to the hospital and was having a very, very bad asthma attack. And when she said that, my knees gave out and I almost hit the floor. The only reason I didn't is because my mom picked me up. And right after she got me to where I could stand on my own and knew that I was good, she told me, I'm leaving in 10 minutes. If you want to go, you have 5 minutes to get in the car. So I went, I threw on a t-shirt, shorts, athletic tights, socks and shoes. Like, I did not dress for the weather. Keep in mind, this is early December, so it's cold as hell outside. But I did that, ran, hopped in the car, and we left. Littlefield was about a 20-minute drive from where we were, and we made that in about 10-15 minutes because my mom was hauling ass down the highway going 100 miles an hour. We got there, and we went and talked to the responding EMTs, and we were just kind of just talking. Then Laura came out, and my mom went and hugged her, talked to her for a little bit. I went and found Macy's little sister, Sarah, and I kind of put myself on Sarah duty, because I knew that she needed someone that she could talk to, that she can hang out with, kind of like someone who's not going to have the mindset of something bad just happened. Someone that could keep her mind off of what was going on. And I did just that. So, finally, we all went into the waiting room of the hospital. Me and Sarah kind of made an inside joke, kind of when I realized that she was getting really down, I'd start on the inside joke on our little back and forth thing, and it would brighten her spirits. Well, soon after that, Laura came and sat down on the floor, and she was obviously aching. I mean, who wouldn't be? That was her baby girl lying in there. And so I went, I sat down by her. She laid her head on my shoulder, and she just cried. And I told her, she's gonna make it. She's stubborn, she's hard-headed, and she's made through worse. She's gonna make this one. She's not giving up without a fight. And she looked at me and she kind of laughed. She said, "You're right. You're right on every last bit of that." Well, right after that, Laura, the doctors came to talk to Laura. So they went to go talk. Me, my mom, Sarah, Macy's grandparents, and Macy's uncle were sitting there talking, just kind of relaxing for a minute. My dad came in and said that him and the other EMTs were about to leave. So he told Mom to let him know what's going on. And he meet back up with us as soon as he could. It's roughly about 4:30 at this point. Well, I got thirsty, and I knew Sarah kind of needed to get away from the hospital. So I looked at my mom and I was like, hey Mom, can we go get drinks for everyone? And she said, yeah, I think that'd do everybody great. So I went, asked everybody what they wanted to drink, and then I grabbed the keys from my mom, and I looked at Sarah and I said, Sarah, let's go. We're going to go grab drinks for everyone. She was like, okay. So we went, we grabbed drinks, we came back, and as soon as we stepped out of the vehicle and walked up to the hospital, they were loading Macy into the ambulance. And I caught a very quick glance at Macy. And this image is still burned in my head. It keeps me awake sometimes at night, because it is one of the last memories that I have of Macy. But she had dried blood coming from her nose, like where she had a nosebleed and it had dried. She had that all over her face from it. And the sheets were stained with it. I mean, it was a very horrifying image. And so I found my mom and I was like, Mom, what's going on? What the hell is going on? Where are they taking her? And she goes, we're going to Lubbock. And I was like, okay, cool. Well, I found everybody before they all went separate ways. I gave everybody their drinks. I found Laura. I gave her a hug. And I told her, I love you, Mom. She's going to get through this. And then Sarah turned to Laura and was like, hey, Mom, can I go with Christian and Shorty? That's what they know my mom as, is Shorty. And Laura was like, yeah, if Shorty doesn't mind. And Shorty goes, and my mom went, no, I don't mind. So me, Sarah, and my mom hopped in our car. Everybody else was in another car, and we followed the ambulance to UMC in Lubbock. Well, during the ride, Sarah started crying. And so I very quickly, without hesitation, unbuckled and hopped in the back seat and hugged Sarah. And she just kept saying, she has to make it. I can't go without a big sister. She has to make it. After everything she's beaten, she's got to make it. And then it just went silent. My mom, after a while, turned on some light music to play in the background, and we just kind of rode like that the rest of the ride. We got to Lubbock, and we got to the hospital, and we found parking spots and whatnot. My mom called my dad and was like, hey, we're at UMC in Lubbock. You need to get here as soon as you can. We stepped out of the vehicles. We met up with Laura, Macy's grandparents, and Macy's uncle. And Laura goes, shit, I don't have any cigarettes. And turned and was like, Tony, I need the keys. I need to go get some cigarettes. Which was her brother, Macy's uncle. Well, my mom said, no. Laura, you go be with your daughter. Tony, you go be with your niece. And told Laura's parents that they needed to go be with their granddaughters and, their daughter. Well, Laura's like, but I need a cigarette. And my mom was like, okay, that's fine. I'll go get them. You just tell me what you smoke. And so my mom went got Laura her cigarettes. I went with Laura and Sarah and all them up to where they took Macy. We got there. Doctors were doing everything they could. They tried everything possible, and it just wasn't working. Well, finally, the doctors came up to Laura and told Laura, there's one more there's one more option that we want to try. And Laura goes, okay, what is it? They kind of talked her through it, what they would be doing. And Laura, when they finished explaining, Laura had a flashback to a conversation between her and Macy. And Macy had told Laura that if something ever happened and she couldn't come back as who she was, to go on ahead and call it. She did not want to be a burden for everyone else. If there was no chance in the world that she could come back as who she was. So Laura immediately looked at the doctor and said, be honest, what are the chances that she comes back as who she was? And the doctor told her it was a very low chance. And by low, it was like 1% chance. Or something like that. I don't know. I just know what was told to me. Well, Laura told them, no, let's not. Let's just go on ahead and pull the plug. She made a very, very difficult decision. A decision that I don't think most parents can make. It's a difficult decision for anyone to make, but it's even harder when it's a parent making it for a child. And she did the right thing by Macy, in my opinion. So we all went into the room, we all said our goodbyes, and then they went to pull the breathing tube out. So we all left the room. They did that. They said we could go back in there, say our final goodbyes. And I went and I stood by her at the feet of her bed and just had my hand on her. And I was standing there when the doctor came in, checked her breathing, checked her heart rate, and pronounced her dead. And then families started leaving because her father and Macy's father and his family had showed up and whatnot. They had all left to go grieve, and all that was left was me, my mom, my dad, Laura, Sarah, Laura's brother, and Laura's parents. And we were just standing there talking and just kind of trying to wrap our minds around what happened. And then we all went on about the rest of our day for that day. And then when we all got back, sometime, I don't remember exactly what time, but when high school band period started at the high school, we all went to go talk to them and comfort them, because Macy was a huge part of the high school band. She was one hell of a leader in the band, and it just hit the band hard because the school had pulled everybody together and made an announcement about it. And there was a lot of crying, there was a lot of comforting, a lot of praying, and then after that, I had skipped school from Monday, or practically that whole week. The only times I went was that Wednesday and that Friday. All this happened on a Monday, so I skipped Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. The only reasons I went Wednesday and Friday, Wednesday I had a test that I was told I had to be at. I had no excuse not to be there. And then Friday, I needed to get my mind off of what had happened that week. Monday and Tuesday, Monday I didn't go because I just watched my best friend die. So yeah, I'm not gonna go to school. Tuesday, to be honest, I didn't feel up for it. I was still grieving. I didn't want to go. And then Thursday was the funeral, so hell no, I'm not going. But on those days that I wasn't at school, I was there with Laura and her family. I was there comforting them. They also saw me as one of their own. They welcomed me, and they knew what I was going through because, like I said, me and Macy had some very, very deep feelings for each other. We just were too scared to verbalize them to each other, which is one of my biggest regrets because I never was able to tell her how I felt. Now, before any of y'all go dissing me in the comments or anything, I know I said I am married. I love my wife to death. My wife knew Macy. My wife had a very close friendship with Macy, and she also knows how I felt or how I feel when it comes to Macy. And so it's just one of those we both know. We also both agree that there's more than one person that we're going to love in a certain way, more than our friendship. So with that, I'm gonna go on ahead wrap that up because I just want to give the details of what had happened and kind of reassure Laura. Laura, if you're watching this, I love you, and the actions that you took and performed on that day made you one of the strongest people that I know. And I'm sure the people that watch this video and watch and hear what you did, I'm sure every last one of them are going to agree with me that you are one of the strongest people that I know. Because I don't know if anybody else could have made those decisions, could have taken those actions, could have done what you did. So please, this alone, and that we all fear for you and we are all backing you up. So guys, if you or anyone you know has asthma, please just keep an eye out. Go searching for what to look out for and what you need to do. So with that, I'm going to wrap this video up. I hope y'all enjoyed it, and I'll see y'all next time.